YouTube. This is MTP Flyers here with another review. Actually, this is a 2-in-1 review. Right now I am recording to you, or recording for you, on my Vado HD. I haven't done a review yet on it, so I was kind of interested to see exactly how it would turn out. The sound, the quality, and pretty much just overall viewage. I'm going to put this up in HD tonight. And I just wanted to try it out. Actually many people have been requesting that I do something like this, so I'm finally getting around to it. And I figured I'd use it out with a case that's pretty graphic intensive. It's got a lot of rubber, as we all know that this case does. Everybody, this is the Incipio Tribal, and let me tell you, it is definitely a very heavy case. Adds a lot of bulk to the phone, definitely protects it. Dropped it a few times. I had no problems whatsoever. This is a beast of a case. Now, the good things. It's a beast of a case. I thought it was very protective. The lay on the table was absolutely awesome. The plugs and everything were easy to get to. I even didn't have a problem with the vibrate switch on there. So, overall, it's a really good case. Now, the bad. I always felt like the rockers seemed so, I don't know, the fact, you know what, and I didn't even realize this. This is going to be a good time to show this to you guys here. Typically, the rocker panels on the inside are hollow. These are actually built out here. So I felt like every time I picked the phone up or I was doing something with the phone, that I wasn't necessarily, that is atrocious messy. Hold on here. Every time I felt like I was using the phone, I always felt like I was bumping the volume rocker buttons. If it was on or not, obviously it didn't matter if it wasn't on. But I just always felt like it was really easy to hit those buttons on there. And, of course, just looking at that a few seconds ago, I realized why. Because it actually gives it a little more to go on. So you just, based by holding it, picking the phone up, you're bumping it. You hear that? Whereas if you just had the case, the phone by itself, you're not, you really have to push it down to grab it. Maybe that's just me, but I just always felt like I heard that clicking and I was like, oh, wow, did I mess up the volume? I got to make sure I don't, turn it up too loud. So that was one of the problems I found with the case. The other problem is a little bit of a link catcher. Not as bad as other cases I've had, like the Spec Fitted and just other rough cases like that. It wasn't horrible. I did notice a little bit of dirt and just had to sit there and clean it out to do that. It did line up pretty well each time I took it off and put it on, so it did hold up to stress test as far as the rubber pieces go, getting a little bit flimsy. It held up really well, but I guess that's not really a bad thing now, is it? But I had no other problems with it, other than the lint catcher, and I just felt like I was way too easily moving the volume rockers. And to some of you, that would be nice to be able to do that. Other cases, it's not as easy to change the buttons, but I didn't realize that this actually had a little bump in there to help you actually be able to push it down a little bit easier. Of course, this camera does not have a micro setting, or macro setting, I should say. So this isn't going to be the greatest thing, but you know what? That's why we're testing this out. You can see that on there. I wish I had, as a matter of fact, the in-case frame case has the buttons covered, but it's hollowed out. So you don't have buttons sticking up like this one. So just something that I noticed on that. I did feel like it was a little too easy to push the button. Is that horrible? No. Especially if the phone's off, who cares? But that's it. The case is a nice case. I'm going to keep using it. It's not horrible. Gives great protection. I do feel like, it'll work. I do feel like it's a nice case. Some people don't like that added bulk. Some people do. Well, you know what? One other thing I did want to mention to you guys. I did notice that because of the extreme lay on the table design, if you're doing stuff you have a tendency to bump the sides. Like if I'm doing a text or something like that. Here, let me pull up my text real quick and do a new one. Just to give you an idea. If I'm going to text, let's say my wife here, and I start typing to her, anything that is along the sides, you know, just like along the sides here, you're bumping, it's like, oh, move out of the way so I can hit that P, or move out of the way so I can hit that Q. You know, kind of just a little bit in the way, you know. Maybe not necessarily down at the bigger buttons, but that I would tend to hit this sometimes, the smile, you know, the signs, to do that. If I was instead of hitting the number, I might bump it over there because of my finger bumping off of that. That's the only thing I think you guys might want to just keep an eye out. Some do find that annoying, and you know, others like the ability to lay it on the table there. So I've taken up enough of your time, guys. I really appreciate it. And we're approaching 4,000 subscribers. That is really, really cool. And I've had some people come out lately that I didn't realize have watched my videos before. So thank you guys very much. I am also working on my announcement. I am going to be putting that up this weekend, as well as my top 5 reviewers. You'll be surprised who my top 5 are, I believe. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the camcorder here. We're going to throw this up tonight and see how it turns out. I want your opinions on that. I want your opinions on the case. Anybody own this? Anybody own the Superman and the superhero designs that are similar to this, but not as design intensive on that? So we'll see what we got going on. Guys, I'm going to cut this loose. You guys have a great evening, great weekend, and I will talk to you later. See ya!